Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday at Two Lines. We are at the Two Lines Oval. Dusty is here doing some testing on his cars for the Home Racing World proxy that's coming up. Not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. And so we're trying to last minute prepare. I've got the Maverick apart. There you go. Got some detail now painted on this. Got some numbers, a little bit of detail, not too much. This car pays homage to my Maverick, which was the same color red. And I have the interior ready to install. Focus. So we will install that tonight. But yeah, so we got the Home Racing World proxy to talk about a little bit and prepping. I have one more car to build. I thought I might be able to get soldering live, but I'm not. I don't have anything prepped and ready for the chassis. And George offered to come on and talk me through it, but I don't know that I'm prepared enough to get it laid out. So, but the interior in the Maverick and running some laps with the Maverick will be important tonight to get that thing dialed in and running the best we can. So, I don't know. Then we'll see what else the chat has to say about it. But let me do an audio check just to see how much you hear. Is that taking that too much? No, you're right. There we go. I have that mic, so Dusty, talk so I can hear.
Yeah. Can I talk right now?
Yeah, I think I got you.
Check.
Yeah, I got you a little bit. So, all right. So, there we go. Let's see who all's in the chat. Geesh, we just started and we got 12 likes already.
Kick that out.
Oh, let's see. The
Only AG.
yep, Jeep.
Only.
ONLY. Enter.
Oh.
Did you have to click into it? All right. So Pat Slots is in the house. Hey, Pat, buddy, been praying for you. Hopefully you're feeling better. It looks like you guys had a great time last weekend. I really appreciated the live stream. If you need to move that out, you can just grab the track. It's on wheels. But it was awesome to watch the race a little bit. What a great layout you have, man. I'm excited that you get to play on that. Hey, John. Hey, Eric. Be nice to see more of the original cars plus some. Hey, Chris Freder. Welcome. Slightly Mad. Hello. Let's see. Who else do we have? Slot Car News. I'll ask more when they're more willing to ask openly about it. I did get an update. It's summer 2025, not January for release. It's only announced January, which makes little sense to me. Why say that? I agree. I hope they do model kits and diecast too, but likely it's just slots. Who else do we have? DeFingers. Hey, John. Welcome. Jamal is in the house. Hey, Jamal. Robert Lee. Welcome, Robert Lee. Good to have you guys. Hey, Dave. Thanks for joining, man. Thanks. Yes, was hoping to have a bit more to share, but not yet. Well, that's all right. You will when you can. That's why we rely on you for the news. Jamal wants a Bugatti slot car. I'm surprised somebody hasn't done one of the newer Bugattis. Maybe there are some out there. I could see Fly doing those, or yeah. It's official. The start on another happy year of Tuesday at Two Lions. Yes, John Albright. Good to be here. Hey, Gary, welcome. George is in the house. Hey, George. Let's see. Thanks, Pat. I appreciate that. Who else do we have? What am I missing? Looking for questions. I'm told I will be given a set to give away. That's awesome. Chris Fredder, John Tucci. Hey, John. Welcome. HSF, Bradley. Thanks. Happy Taco Tuesday. Did not have tacos tonight. I actually fixed some burgers. But Dusty had burritos, so that's close. Daniel. Welcome, Daniel. Good to have you. Slot R, good evening. Good evening to the other Dave. Everybody says, hey, Dusty. 30 watching, 9 likes. You know what to do. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. Hey, David. Good to have you. Good day. It's cool that you guys got to race at Pat's. Don't let Dusty fool you. His seems to be running pretty good. I think he's going to have a good car. So I have been working on my Maverick body. You guys know how much I love my old Maverick. And so finally getting this thing made into a dirt track car, which is not what mine was, but that's okay. So it's almost done. Well, as done as it's going to be, I guess. I really kind of procrastinated. The Nationals kind of threw off my scratch building schedule for a number of reasons. One, I spent more money than I wanted to or needed to for the Nationals. And so I try to stick to a pretty strict budget. But, you know, when you go racing it at Cincy Slots on Thursday nights, even though it's been a while since I've been down there because of my December as a worship leader at church is kind of crazy. So there we go. Now I've got my interior in. Let's get it where it's supposed to go. Multitasking, guys. So I've got the screen in. There we go. So, and I'm just temporarily taping this in just so I can get it in the car and run some tests and see what I need to do. I might need that big back window the Maverick has because it's kind of a hatchback. I might have some tire rub here, but I used the playing card, and then I used a driver that came from George. So thank you, George. I appreciate that. Shotgun Dave is in the house. Hey, Dave. Welcome. Yeah, the oval view tonight. We've got some cars to test. Not that Dusty's got some testing to do over on the other track too, but we figured we'd be working on the Home Racing World proxy cars. So yeah. Yeah. So putting the interior in the Maverick, I'm going to run into a problem with that. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to tape that up in somehow. so that it stays up out of the way of the wheels. Well, maybe I could. So this is one of the things about scratch building that is a challenge for me. Painting is a challenge. I tend to ruin every paint job because of the type of paint that I use, because I won't invest in a airbrush. But after you see what I'm going to show you here in a little bit, I don't think I have a choice. I think we're going to have to, well, if that would stay up there, that would be great. So let's put the body on and see what we're dealing with here. Okay. So let me throw one of the screws, a couple of the screws in, and we'll have Dusty run a couple laps with it and see if it gets around the track, or does the body cause a problem, or the interior cause a problem. So what else do we have going on? Jeff G is in the house. Jeff, been running the heck out of your cars. Probably when I should have been building a car more than likely, but so let's go half turn. Start there. Tight. Half turn. Do we have any kind of float? Oh yeah, in good shape. All right, here we go. Maverick is interior installed. We'll see if it gets around the track. So Jeff G, who else do we have? I missed. Sorry, guys. Hey, Harry. Good to have you. Hey, Chris. So, yeah, good stuff. I don't mean to like this to be the whole talk, all the home racing world stuff, but we have been prepping for a few weeks, trying to get our cars done, kind of waiting to the last minute. It's kind of just how things go around here. We've had the Fast Lap Challenge, and some guys have sent cars in. I know there's a couple other cars on their way, and I know some guys have reached out and said that they're building cars for it. That's pretty exciting stuff, so that's been fun. KR Bridges, the video I dropped this week on Saturday, there was a lot of love for that jalopy-style 124 scale. And then there were a lot of guys that are 124 guys that were really happy that I did a 124 car. So, yeah, pretty cool. So thanks for all that feedback. That's good. So, like if you do have a 124 scale car or 125th scale car that you want to send in for the Fast Lap Challenge, since KR sent that and we ran it in the Fast Lap Challenge, we'll do a 124 scale. But I'm working on prizes. So for first, some places in the in the 132nd scale, and then I'll try to do something for 124 guys if I get a few 124 scale cars. Yeah, so let's flip over and watch a little bit of practice that Dusty's got going on. While he's doing that, I'll clean the tires and jump on and run a few laps with. And it drives you crazy, man. So here we go. Check 1, 2. Okay, yeah, you got me. And we'll see how the Maverick runs. A little loose. Track's probably still a little dirty. Ooh. Oh. Ooh. Came out of the slot. That might be the first deslot of the night for anybody. So I'm looking 2 6s in the red lane. I wish I could get a little more grip in the turn. Well, we're gonna put some marks on them before we even get them to Harry's.
Don't scratch mine. Now,
Yeah, easy.
you scratching that.
Something very satisfying about building a car from scratch and then getting to run some laps with it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, obviously these are not our fastest cars, but there is something very satisfying with getting to run some laps. Yeah, now I'm 2 7s. I'm way off pace. So there we go. There's some laps with the Maverick. So kind of at this point, it's probably as good as it's going to get. That's kind of how I'm playing it. I am getting a little bit of tire rub on my interior. So I may need to work on that interior a little bit. Figure out how to get it up a little higher.
I wouldn't trust Dusty with my password.
So they were back into 2 5s. I'd really like to see this car in the 2 4s, but it might not be possible. So I do have some work to do, a little bit. I'm going to have to take it apart, mess with that interior pan a little bit, just to see about getting it up a little higher, and getting it away from because it is definitely rubbing a little bit. So let me go back to I couldn't type hello to everyone fast enough. Hey, Greg, welcome. Tad is in the house. Say, Tad. Good to have you. And Dusty's backside, too. Yeah. Everybody gets to watch Dusty's backside. So maybe I should go back to the... Oh, what's up? I'll go back to that screen. That's a little less of Dusty's backside. All right, so what else do we have? Hey, welcome, Joe. Good to have you. Malcolm is from New Zealand on a wet Wednesday afternoon. Malcolm, thanks for tuning in, man. Good to have you. But yeah, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate that. Bryce is in the house. Hey, Bryce. Yeah, man, we got all kinds of people in. 86 in the wow, geez. Patriot is here. So Fast is here. Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Nick V. Appreciate that. So, yeah, I got a little bit of interior work to do on the on the Maverick. But all in all, I think it's pretty much ready to go. Maybe a little bit more detail, but I like the stance. Pretty happy with. I was able to keep the exhaust on it. I had to do some sanding, but it seems to be holding up okay. Yeah, good stuff. But now, hey, there's KR. Good to have you, KR. Kenneth, what's up? I'm a writer. I type fast. There you go, Patreon. If I missed somebody, I apologize. Dave says Auto Art made a Bugatti. Hey, Michael Squire. Yeah, that's so I was working on my NASCAR, and I have a 1/25th scale slot car corner kit, and so now I need to build a chassis for it. But let me go get the body. I'll throw you over here while I go get the body. Oh. So, here's my NASCAR body. It's the number 4 1990 Kodak gold film Ernie Irving. All right? And so on camera, I feel like that turned out great. Except for the fact that I can get it to focus. The paint is wrinkled everywhere. Not under the decals, but any place there's no decals, the paint is wrinkled. Now, I am going to say that now that it's dried, and that happened when I hit it with clear coat. So I'm really disappointed. But I'm going to finish this car anyway. But outside of that, I feel like it turned out pretty good. It's a good-looking car. Focus. There we go. And I got to finish the interior, which I plan to do tonight. And then the chassis, I think I can build the chassis in about an hour. So this will be my 5th chassis that I've built, and I think that it'll come together pretty quick. But, so I know I used the wrong paint. That Krylon paint just puts on such a nice finished coat, except for the fact that it kind of is already cleared. You can't put clear on it because it reacts bad with everything. And so, warning, even getting an acrylic clear coat, which when I tested it underneath, you can see, well, you can't see. When I tested it inside, it did not wrinkle the paint inside. But when I took it out and I painted the outside, the first light coat, I was like, wow, that didn't really, it's not very shiny. It's very dull. I let it dry, and then I hit it with the second one, and I was like, oh, that's not really dry. That's wrinkles. And so, yeah, but outside of that, I still think that it'll be okay. It could be worse, I guess. But, yeah, it's not perfect by any means. But I will tell you, 3 hours to put all those decals on. Is that about how long it took you to put yours?
Probably.
So Dusty did Tony Stewart. It looks good too, but he had the exact.
It's got wrinkle finish too.
He had the exact same thing. You can see here along the bottom edge, it wrinkled, and that clear coat is so. It reacts so violently with the paint, but that orange is the right orange, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's getting around we'll take a look at his chassis. It is oops, dude, something just fell out. Oh, that's one of your weights.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think it would come out. All right. Here, I'll just put it back in later. Here, you want?
Well, I was just gonna. No, you don't. He did a nice job with how he attached. So he used pins on his body. Focus. There we go. So he used pins on the body, which I think is a great idea. And then focus. Is this the standard Showdown? And it gets around the track really good. You pretty happy with
I used the square tubing
for your mounts?
with a piece of round inside of it.
Oh, okay.
The mounts.
There you go. See if I can get it to focus. Yeah, so you can see the pin. Yeah, it shows up pretty good. It's a square tubing, then he's got round inside it. And those pins just lock right in. And, yeah, dude, the interior looks good.
Yeah, didn't turn out too bad.
Oh. But I'll let you put that back in. So that's what I will be making probably tonight after the live stream. But while I have the kit here, let me. Hey, Chris Perry, thanks for joining. Guys, I'm Thomas. Hey, Thomas, welcome. Billy K. Hi, Marty. How long have you been slot racing? Did you ever go to the track in Cincinnati that was downstairs in an old bowling alley? Billy K. No, we did not. I've only been doing this almost 3 years. I think February, end of January, will be 3 years. So we've been doing this slot cars for 3 years. The first year, we did not do anything but race Carrera on the track here in the basement. And then Billy, we went to Cincy Slots, Bruce's track at Green Parts. They're off Reading Road. And that's the only place that we've been racing in Cincinnati. We have been to Bruce's home track, which was a lot of fun. And then we've been to Greg's track, Greg Kessler, who's Bud Slots in the chat. We've been to his track. We've been invited to a couple of other tracks. Our friend Bernie, his track, he's invited us like 500 times, and we've not yet been able to make it down. So there's that. So I always feel bad about that. But and then our friend Jamie. So those are the only tracks in Cincinnati that we've raced. And then we've raced at the Nationals race. Our friend Butch has a wood track that we've raced on. So that's kind of been our trip. But we've not been to the one that was downtown in the old bowling alley. We haven't been in the hobby long enough. But Billy, thanks for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. Marty is doing too good on this show. Everyone is here. What? Steve Sweeney, that's right. Drink roast coffee. It's the official coffee at Two Lions Tuesday. Actually, I need to go. Hey, Todd. Thanks for tuning in, man. Good to have you. Hey, Brett. Marty, where did that Maverick body come from? So I have two Maverick bodies. One of them is a resin print from Mad P 3D, who's usually here on Tuesday nights. And so there's that body. And then this particular Maverick that I'm making the dirt car out of came from George at Area 51. He printed that off for me for Christmas. So, Brett, that's where the Maverick came from. Marty, my Mav would be painted yellow and rust. Yeah, mine had its fair share of rust, John. So Brett, yeah, I don't know if they plan to release the Maverick to Slot Car Corner. That would be up to George. But I think it'd be a popular car for them because I think there were a lot of people that drove Mavericks or would like a Maverick. So I definitely, hopefully, will get a chance to build another one and make it look like my car. And I'm still looking. I have one picture someplace in the attic that I know that exists. So of my Maverick. Hopefully, there's a couple more, but I know of one. Joe has a question. I added 5 grams to my MR slot car McLaren. While it helped with the fishtail, it didn't help with the speed. Is that just a trade-off of what should be my next step besides removing some weight? All right, Joe, I'm sure that somebody has probably already tackled this. Hey, Bob. Bob, running some thanks for the tires that you threw in on Dusty's order. We appreciate it. Going back to Joe's question. So, yeah, you kind of have to move the weight around a little bit. I think that one thing I used to say all the time with tuning was try to tune with as little weight as adding as little weight as possible, because it is a trade-off. If you add weight, you might have to play with gearing to be able to get a little better launch, because that's probably where the spin up is probably where the weight is slowing your car down, if it feels like it's slowing it down. But a lot of times if you can, with that weight, you pick it up in the corners, right? If it makes it handle better, you might not have the fastest straight line speed, but you're so much faster through S-turns and corners that that the trade-off is completely worth it. You said it's the MR slot car McLaren. I have a McLaren body, but I don't have a McLaren. I don't have a McLaren chassis. Dusty has a McLaren. So I would put the weight. I think you want to move the weight as close to the motor as possible on the pod. And I think that if that's where you have the weight, that's probably the best location for it. That's my experience with the MR slot car cars. That's where my weight is for my my shadow. So you might try that. If it's still fishtailing on you a little bit, you might try moving it forward towards the guide a little bit in increments to see where it likes that weight the best. But yeah, you're probably going to have some trade-off with speed unless you start playing with gearing. I'm not a big, we don't play, the stock gearing does pretty good on my track, so we don't usually mess with gearing too much. But that's one of the things that we have been over the last 6 months has been playing with different gearing. So you can kind of compensate some of that weight with, changing the spur, going to, a couple of teeth up or down, depending on what you're after. I don't know if that answered your question, and I don't know if anybody else. Chris, thanks. Yeah, I think the Maverick looks pretty good. I kept it simple. I didn't put a bunch of decals on it because I'm not going to clear coat it, obviously, since I suck at clear coating. Hey, Bo. Happy New Year. Welcome. Good to have you. I'm expecting my new release NSR Ayrton Senna Marlboro any day now. Steve, that's a cool car. Pat, you sexy beast, from Joe. Marty's running behind his cars as usual. Yeah, I'm always at the last minute. Eric has a question. Marty, have you tried Krylon 5X? Actually, Eric, that is exactly what the yellow paint is. That is the Krylon 5X. And you're fine with that because that paint has a clear coat to it, I think. And that's what reacts because it lays down a very shiny, glossy finish. And because of that, I put the decals on, and when I sprayed it with clear, it reacted. So even that Krylon, I've tried the Krylon clear coat on Krylon. That reacts really bad. This reacted, at least this is consistent. And I might be able to sand that, but that's just, I'm going to take a chance of ruining some decals if I'm not super careful. So there's no easy way to do that. And so I'm just going to go with it the way it is. So, but it was the Krylon 5X. But I do like that. I mean, that's the finish that I have on the Maverick, the pepper red. It's what I have, the smoke gray on my land barge. I like that paint because it creates such a nice finish. But as soon as you put decals, you're not going to be able to put clear over that, in my experience. What else do we have? Greg, my last cars are always my fastest cars. The last minute cars. Yeah. And Dusty's getting some good laps in tonight. George, that car you made and entered for me is amazing. Pat, it is. George nailed it. It's so good. Hey, DT Slot Racing, welcome. Dave does have the good stuff. Yeah, George did an awesome job on your car, Pat. Heck, and I watched it run, man. It's got a chance. It's got potential to be the winner. That car's quick. Albright says non-mag. Thanks, Michael. I'm pretty happy with it. Hey, Steve. Hello. Good to have you, man. Hopefully you're doing well. What else do we have? James Tharp. Good evening, James. I'll be rooting my Buckeyes on Friday. What else do we have? Happy to build it for you. Yep. George is a good dude. Hey, DW Barker. How are you, man? DW, are you entering a car in the proxy race for next weekend? The weekend after. Yeah, whatever John said. I didn't go back and look, but I'm sure he gave you some good answers to 3 or 4 grams is about right with adjustment and tires. Yes, I would follow John's tuning advice. So, Slot Car News, you said the shot of the track is crystal clear, so you must be talking about... Oh, no. Come on. I just put my computer to sleep. You must be talking about this shot right here. So, Dave, that shot is on the... oh, gosh. What camera is that? Oh, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. That's what you're looking at right there. And so it's a gimbal camera, but it's doing a pretty good job. I'm asking it to do something that's probably not normal for it on a tripod, and just it's a shot. But it does have a nice clean picture. And the lighting in this cave is not the best, so it does a pretty decent job in low lighting. Greg says it looks smooth, Dusty.
It's not.
He says that it's not.
Yeah, see, there's how see how those just go in the back of the chassis.
Oh, yeah.
Screwed here, and then they'll just,
Okay.
that's how that one works.
Yeah. Just run that and see what you think.
You see that?
So let's show you Dusty's. Here's Dusty's hobby stock with pushboard bumpers, mud on the tires, and hand painted, just like the hobby stocks we grew up watching at Casey Raceway. And that's the beauty of this car. This looks like a car we would have rooted for and yelled and screamed at when we were kids. And then we even have the tire mark on the side.
And it would be in the Derby.
And it would be,
weeks
yeah.
after we would watch.
And then we would watch the same car at the Ross County Fair in the demo Derby. And then it's even got the air cleaner sticking out the top of the hood. So, yeah, good stuff. Yeah, Dusty got creative on how to mount. Like, the trick is, how do you mount these bodies? And so he's got up front here, he put some plastic in there underneath to hold that up, and that's where the front screws are going. And then in the back, he used a wire that he epoxied into that sticks in the end of the chassis. And so that is probably where you're getting some noise, Dust.
Yeah, could be.
But it gives you nice float. Like, it's got the right amount of float in you,
Yeah.
I think. But good stuff. Good stuff. Now I have two different. There we go. So, yeah,
Pretty good.
we're prepping for the home racing world. Not too bad.
Yeah.
It's just a little. It loses grips in the corner. I got to see if I can get some more traction somehow. But so thanks, Dave. I appreciate that very much. I wouldn't trust Dusty with my password. There's nothing on that laptop except for fast laps. Oh, that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Before I get too far, so we've been testing fast laps. I think I prefer Marty's handheld camera angle. You mean when I hold the phone, Greg? I'll do a little bit of that. Oh, Alan wants you to run the modified, Dusty.
Oh, okay.
When he will here in a second.
Yeah, yours is about a tenth or so, 2/10 faster than mine on red.
On red? Oh, you were faster than me. All right, Alan, let me change camera. So this is a modified that Alan, our buddy from that we race with at Cincy Slots, sent Dusty home with this past week. And it is wild. It's a lot of fun. So it's going to be in the Fast Lap Challenge. Two fours. Is it? It's right there with the Jake Dyke Special. Man, when you look at those times, it tells you how stinking good George's car was. 2-3. Yeah. So George's car is really, really good. We're looking at the leaderboard, which you guys can't see. I'm going to hang it on the wall beside the computer, so you guys can see it in the camera shot. I'll work on that this weekend. But there you go, Alan. There's some laps with the modified. Greg, the handheld camera, it takes some practice. Steve, our buddy Steve, is trying to learn how to do that. Race and Marty and the Mavericks. Hey, the Mavericks are a great band, but Marty and the Mavericks would be a great band name. But I think the Mavericks they're already taken, and they are fantastic. If you've ever heard them. Who's sandbagging who? John Albright wants to know.
I'm never sandbagging. I'm not good enough to sandbag.
Okay, so now Dusty's got Robert Lee's modified on the track. That's a good running car, man.
Yeah.
Robert's car is really, really good. Looking for... Yeah, I'll try not to scratch your car dust. I was trying to see who caused the wreck. Oh, the wreck earlier? I think that was Dusty who got me. If the interior is sagging, the tires are dragging. Yeah, John, that's what I'm running into is my interior is sagging just a touch, and it's rubbing on the top of the tires. So I think I might be just even a little bit better if I can clean that up. Pat, thanks, man. I've got a lot going on in this little room. We got the oval, and then if I turn on, let me see if I can, Pat, let me see if I can
It's a fun little car.
give you dead spot. I didn't like that.
Sit right on the.
Oh, right on the.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can get this to. Add this camera. Oh, nope. Nope. Oh, it does not want to go to my phone. I was going to show you around the track here a little bit. But that camera is not kicking on for some reason. But thanks, Pat. Appreciate that. I was going to... Yeah, that's some good laps.
Oh my gosh, that's a fun little car.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. So, Alan, we ran a modified. We ran Robert Lee's modified. Hey, B2. Good to have you. Thanks for being here. Greg, mine's stuck in Springfield, Missouri. Use actual shims on the body to raise it a little is if you need to. Oh, yeah. I think I'm fine with where it's riding, George. I think I just need to get the. It's a playing card, and it's got to extend back because of how big that back window is, and so I just need to shape that and probably tape it up a little bit. So what I was going to do is, for those of you who have questions about the home racing world and whether it's worth buying the Showdown chassis kit, when I built these two cars that I'm working on, the Maverick and this, I had a bunch of brass. I probably had enough stuff except for wheels and tires and the motor and guide. I needed all that, and I just found that it was just so easy and quick to throw this in the cart, and you knew that you got everything you needed. So while we're at it, I'm just going to open this up and let you see what comes in this kit. Slot car corner, the Three Amigos, these guys really, really put a great kit together. So in this bag, you have the tires and wheels, the 20,500K motor, Predator motor, 2 axles, your pinion, and your spur gear. Now, this is the 125th kit. So this is exactly everything you need. The wiring, the brushes, the braid for your guide, the motor bracket, and all the brass that you need. Even 2 pieces of wood to use to mount your body. And I use those in this body. Now, I'm relying on that wood. I'll show you my chassis. I want to point out 2 things. If anybody remembers how crappy of a job I did soldering the Jake Dyke special, I'm like, it's an upgrade. It's a little cleaner. It's what happens having the right tools. That's a big help. That's a big help having the right tools. Yeah. So, back to this. So when you open this up, you get everything, and it's all organized. So here's your brass, and that is the guide tongue and everything you need for the rear axle, and the front, mounting the front axle, square tubing. You've even got some extra stuff in here. And then you've got your Paul gauge tires that I'm glad Dusty brought the truer back because I'll probably need to true those. And the wheels, the wire for the motor, leads, axles, gears, everything else you need right here in this bag, all from Slot Car Corner. So not to turn into a Slot Car Corner commercial, but if this is something you've wanted to try and just wasn't sure what all you needed, they've simplified this to the point where you just order the kit and it's all right there ready for you. So this will become a chassis probably later tonight. And, oh, hang on. So Dusty's running Spider-Man, Jeff G's midget. What a great car. So are you guys saying that that your packages are getting caught up in Missouri before they get to Harry's house? Does that mean I should either send the package a different way, or should I get it done tonight and get it out in the mail? But then we'd miss your smiling face. There you go. Hey, everyone who said hey to me, I was typing emails. Okay. Robert Lee. We had his car. Huh? Yeah, I know he did. Yeah, Jeff did an awesome job.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, the Spider-Man midget is fantastic. Gary, hey, Dusty, that's a nice dirt car you built.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it looks great. The hobby stock is awesome. Thanks, Clint. Yeah, the Maverick it's getting there. It's looking pretty good. DJ Patrick, Maverick with a Pontiac wide track stance. Yeah, that's right. I'll put big fender flares on it. Yeah, Nick. Yeah, this is kind of a dirt track proxy, so everything is in the style. Jamal, what's the weather there, Clearwater? It's 29 here. Ooh, 29 in Atlanta? That's cold, man. Is that Shotgun Dave's truck? Yeah, man, that's awesome. Alan, I've been busy. Yeah, Alan. Yep, I've been busy. Yeah, I mean, it's just the wrinkled paint is so frustrating. I don't know if you guys can see it. There you go. And I guess it could be worse. It's small wrinkles. It's nice and tight. So all I know is if the car's fast, you're not going to see it when it's on the on the track. If the car's slow, then you'll still see the wrinkle paint. But maybe I can build a halfway decent car. We'll see. Shotgun Dave, Pat's potato truck looks awesome. Yes, Nick, it is awesome truck. Looks awesome. What else do we have here? Greg, did you send a Kodak? I saw one in Harry's live stream last night, but I wasn't sure if that was yours. I mean, so can I tell you why I picked the Kodak car? I was so worried about the paint. I wanted a car that did not need two-tone. And so this is one color. That's the whole reason. Although I've always liked the Kodak. I've always thought that was a great livery. And the Kodak cars won a lot of races between Ernie Irvan, Sterling Marlin. Who else ran the Kodak? Was Ricky Craven in the Kodak car? My mind is not wrinkle paint for slipping through the air track speed advantage. Thanks for trying to make me feel better, Patrick. Love that pickup, Shotgun Dave, and the figure of Pat and Katie inside. Excellent build. Even rolled on Pat's track, and not one potato was lost. That's sweet. Yeah, it was really cool to see the racing on Pat's. Well, Christmas was lonely and New Year's too. Kristen got the flu next to... Oh, man. Sorry, Bo. Hopefully, as the weather gets better, you guys will come around. Marty, where did you get the decals from? Which decals, Gary? The Kodak decals came from the model kit. And the decal... I printed these decals on decal sticker paper. And so there's a little white edge to them. They're a little thick. I don't love them, but I think they look okay. You can't get the edges perfect on that decal paper. And the water slide decals, they're not bright enough for me. And there's no significance to the number 93. I just liked the way the number looked. I am a fan of the number 9. 19 is my favorite, but I've already built a 19 car, so I was looking for something different. Yep, John Albright, you're right. The Krylon does not play well with others.
You're way behind.
I know I am. Dang it. I've used clear on Krylon, but I let the base color dry for a long time, like a week or more. Then clear. Try to use the same brand also. Yeah, Michael, that's the problem is that was a pretty fresh. It only got to dry for about 2 days. So I kind of rushed it. So it's my fault. That's right. Yeah, I suck at painting. So Clint, I stick with Tamiya base and clear. That's what I'm going to switch to since I don't have an airbrush, unless I invest in an airbrush. That's what we're gonna do, is go to Tamiya. I have to order it online because I don't have a local Tamiya hobby shop that carries it. I guess I should check if Dan has it out there at RC Pro Shop.
He may because of the RC cars.
Yeah, but he's not a Tamiya. He sells Traxxas but maybe he has Tamiya paints. I should check. I never even thought about that. The SMS paints are really good paint to use as a base and they're clear on decals. And that's the Australian paints, right, George? Brett wants to know, so where did the chassis come from, Dusty? He didn't use a kit. He just had a bunch of brass, but he didn't use a kit. He just ordered what he needed. But what I was saying is the kit, unless you already have a bunch of brass, yeah, he built the chassis just like if he would have bought the kit, but he had everything that he needed. He just ordered the tires and the wheels and all of that. Yeah, Dave, you're much better at that than I am. I'm not good at painting. I've already proven that over and over. D.W. Barker asked, did I decide on a name for the track? I think we were just going to stick with the 2 lines oval because that seems to be what rolls off the tongue easy, and that's what I've been referring to it as for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So nothing fancy. It's the 2 lines oval. DT Slaw Racing. I normally think it's dry and ruin it. I've lost count of how many times I've left access to my phone in the paint. Yeah, I know. Thanks, George. George, I would bring you on the stream, but I don't have, because I was streaming from here, all my soldering stuff is over there. I think I'm in good shape, honestly. I've already built a 124 for the land barge, so I think I'm in good shape. But if I have any questions, I'll give you a call. But this is where it'd be fun if we lived closer, because it'd be great to like be in the same room and build together. That would be good stuff. Hey, Vin, welcome. But George, thanks, man. We'll after the stream we'll hook up. Bud, Greg, Slotman should put in an ace in the deck for interior. I've already used all the aces, I think. Slot cars. That's cool that you play with adult toys with your brother. Jamal, man, like, listen, if any of you lived close, you guys would be here playing with us. We've got, Chris Freder has come down. Our buddy Josh has come down. Greg's come here. Steve. We've got some guys that come race. Now we've got another track for them to race on. But yeah, if you ever find yourself in Ohio, call me, man. But Jamal, you're right. It's fun that we get to do this together. Yeah, that's all right. I was tracking with him. I knew what he meant. Jeff, that Krylon paint needs 2 weeks to cure before clear coat. Yeah. I probably would be good to clear this, but I'm afraid to, because I painted this like 3 weeks ago. Let's see here. What else do we have? Hey, Mark B., good evening. So, what else do we have? Oh, I started to tell a story about Patrick from Fast Laps. This past Friday, we had a little bit of snow on Thursday, and then during the day Friday, and so the weather was kind of bad. But I led worship with some guys from church at a 6th grade lock-in at a church in Lancaster, Ohio. And we had a blast. But I was driving home, and Patrick texted me and said, hey, I dropped my daughter off at college. I want to ask some questions about, we want to be able to use Fast Laps for endurance racing. And that would be multiple rounds in a round-robin style race, right? Where you do maybe 6 rotations at 42-minute heats through, 6-lane track, and that gets you to 24 hours, right? And we didn't have the ability to do that in fast laps. And this is the beauty of this, is Patrick called. We talked about all the different ways that it was possible to do this. But I was like, I think the easiest way is just in round robin racing, create a field that says how many times you want to rotate through the rotation. And he's like, I think you're right. And it released yesterday already. So that was on Friday, and he released it on Monday with a bunch of cool changes. And so I'm using Fast Laps here. And in practice mode, you don't see any of the new features. But if we were to run a race, you would really see like what's going on and all of the things that Patrick has added as like a request from me. And like just a shout out to Patrick and say, thanks for being so great to work with and giving me the opportunity to pour into this software. And he's planning to release it sometime soon. And guys, this is going to be like the premier lap, like analogs, especially on the analog side, but it'll do digital timing as well. This is going to be a great piece of software, and it keeps getting better and better with every update. But this last update really gave us a lot of things that are going to be great. One, for endurance races, but two, it gives you the timer in between on the screen in between heats, so you know if you're auto timing and it's a minute and 30 seconds between races. The countdown now comes up in the bottom right-hand corner. You can see who's coming in and going out the next 3 or 4 heats. So if it's a big race, you can just glance at the bottom and it'll pop up and rotate between the lap records for the lanes, and then it'll reveal who's coming in and out for the next 3, 4, 5 heats, whatever it's got room for on your screen. And just some great, great features. So if you haven't tried it, I know Patrick has kind of been overwhelmed because I've been pushing the software. But check it out, fastlaps.com, FASLAPS.com. It is a great timing software, and I'm really, really excited to help just to kind of be a tester for it. It's been great. So exciting things to come. So if you have an endurance race, and that's how you do your endurance race as a big multi-rotation round robin, then this software can handle it. And I think the beauty of the software is the race screen during the race. It just gives you what information you need, and it's really, really good. Bob Palmer, you are always welcome at the hobby shop in Dayton. Bob, I need to get over there. Wednesday is like my free night. And I wish Thursday was my free night, because then it would make it easy for me to get to Cincy Slots to race. But most of the time, I just don't have a car to run at Dayton. But Bob, we are going to make it over in the next few weeks. So I'm planning on that. So can't wait. Thanks for the invite. I really appreciate it. John D. Bugatti's first R2R was a Skelectric Vintage Type 58. And then they made a 64 to 67 mint boxed one, sold at auction for 7,500 quid 10 years ago. Ouch. Marty's hair is lushed. It's the cowlick, bro. I've got the little Superman curl going. I found the printed bodies from the link that got posted last week. Those are pretty cool. Yeah, Brett, there's lots of choices, and that's 1/32 scale. And so that's something that we've not had a lot of lately. Until now. And so I think I did a big shout out to George and Shotgun Dave and Harry last week, and I'll do it again. George, if you want to put that link out there again, that's great, so people can find them. Dusty's using the Grand National. That's the Grand National body. It's awesome. Michael says he won't have any finish to send this time. I'll have to be in the summer event. It's all right, Michael. Sometimes life happens and you can't get stuff done. I was afraid I was not going to have 2 cars. I was going to have one. And if I didn't get one done, I was going to send the Jake Dyke special back in, just because I was able to upgrade to the 20,500 motor, which is different than the last time. I had the 17.5 motor in it the last time, and it performed really well. And but this time we're going to send the Maverick, and hopefully I can get the NASCAR done and have a 124 scale. But the one thing I haven't done, and that's going to have to be the one that I do for the summer, is the modified. I've not done a modified. I don't even know where to begin on the modified, but we'll get there. Brett, my first car was a $50 Gremlin. Jeff G, Michael S. Yep, definitely. The paint solvents are still gassing off, pushing through. 2 weeks ensures it's cured. Let's see here. Take a G at a time. You don't want overclock the heart of the car too quickly. They do not need much weight. Do a basic tune first. Well, I'm not sure what car we're talking about, and I'm way behind. So, George is helping Joe with Joe's question, I think. Hey, Jim. Later, Tim. Thanks for tuning in, man. Yeah, Bo, hope you get well soon, man. Being sick stinks. Sounds like there have been some Bugattis over the time. Ernest. Easy E slot cars. Hey, Easy E. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Always good to have people. And that's somebody new in the chat, I think. Maybe you've been here before. I apologize if you have. If the McLaren is fishtailing, the pod screws aren't adjusted correctly, or the tires aren't working, adjust for a bit of drift and add tape across the pod. Body float is important too. Yeah. Yeah, well, I didn't even get into that. You're right. Those are all good things. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Thanks, John Mark. Yeah, once dialed in, the MR slot car McLaren is a good car. Maybe try some floor shine on the Kodak car. Might hide some of the wrinkles. Try a small section first. Worth a try. Thanks, Tad. I might try that. Yeah, maybe it would hide some of the wrinkle. Maybe it'd film in a little bit. That's probably not a bad idea. Yeah, I'll test a little inconspicuous spot and see. Thanks, Ted. I appreciate that. I'm assuming 3. I think Tad sent in a raffle car. Here's another thing, guys. If you're not participating but you enjoy watching the Home Racing World proxy races, they do have some raffle cars that people build, and I think Tad built one. I think George built one. I think who else? Maybe Mark. Was it Donahue? Is that right? Built one, and that car is beautiful. They all are great cars, and so you can buy raffle tickets for that, and they'll give those away. And so I think that that's a great way, if you've never built a car, is the chance of winning one of those, and then you get one in your hands so that you can actually like see what it's supposed to look like and how the chassis is built, and that's just a great way to do that. So you got a chance at winning, I don't know, 2 or 3 different cars that they're going to give away. George probably knows the exact answer there, but wow, I am behind. Yeah, Robert Dusty did get some laps in. Okay, guys, looks like something my uncle would have painted and driven as a banger race car. DT slots, Dusty's, yeah. It reminds me of all the hobby stocks that raced. They had a claim, like if your hobby stock was too fast and it won too often, like somebody could pay like $5 claim and you lose the car. Something, maybe it was the motor only. So, hey Daryl, thanks for joining Daryl. Yeah, pets are important though, Michael. You're doing what you're supposed to do, man. Yeah, Steve, Dusty put dirt on it. It's got tire marks. It's great. Pin tubes on the chassis, old school. Paint the pin heads, the body color. There you go. Yeah, I'm trying to decide what kind of chassis. I think I'm just going to do the basic. Guys, I'm skipping some of the. I apologize. I don't even. As long as there's no teabagging, I'm not even going to touch it. Vin, it's like reported sightings. Oh, you're right. It's not on the screen anymore. I went to sleep. Let's see what else. Love the layout. Thanks. If you're talking about mine, I appreciate that. Marty El Presidente in the Oval Office. There you go. That's funny. Stonewall Raceway. Yeah, that fits, doesn't it? It does fit. Thanks, Marty. Much appreciated. I figure I needed to mess with the gear at some point. Contact George as well. You guys are great. Yeah, Joe, I would do what John said first. I would make sure that you've got and Joe, we can talk offline. I can look at mine and kind of give you an idea how many turns you should start with the pod. Maybe, yeah, I would start at one turn. That's usually where I start. So go to tight and then back it out one turn. And so you've got you can see that pod move because that'll be important. Are you running silicones on your track still with that? So that's probably where I would start. Make sure you've got enough body float. Cars, I feel like these cars like a lot of body float, the NSRs, the MR slot cars, the Slottits. And so I would make sure that it's got maybe 2 millimeters of float. It's probably a good place to be. So that seems like a lot. You might have to change out the screws to be able to provide that kind of body float. You may have to go to a little longer screw. 4 on the Fords. I like that, Vin. I didn't shoot that down. Thanks, Bo. Appreciate you. And there's the Showdown chassis kit. Thanks, George. I appreciate that. Dungeon and Dragon. Silicons are not a problem ever. I know that Joe likes silicons. Ooh, 13 degrees. It's cold. Mine has been out for delivery for 2 days. Shipped from Charleston, South Carolina on 12/31. Ooh. DW. DW, did you what livery did you do? I think maybe your car was it in the hot was it in the live stream last night? Hello, I made it to the kid just laid down for bed. Did anybody get any bad weather this past weekend? Ice storm came through here and we're without 20 hours and a lot of folks still without. Chief Redback, stay safe where you're at. We had about, 12 to 14 inches of snow, But we missed all the ice, so we were very fortunate. Gale Force. Hey, Gale Force. Good night, Harry. Harbor Freight has a cheap airbrush. Does anyone know if that's any good? Brett, I've not messed with that, but I know people who do use it, and there are some. Clearwater Hobby Town carries Tamaya. The closest hobby town to me is in Cincinnati. So George says they work great. Marty, Hobbies Galore in Columbus off 161 has a lot of different paints. Chris, thanks, man. I don't think I've ever been to Hobbies Galore. I've been to Robbie's Hobbies. And I guess he might have paint. Nick V likes the SMS paints. Thanks, Chris. Hey, Shane. Thanks for tuning in, man. Brett, yes, you would need to come to Two Lines someday. So, it's 9:21. I have a dream of opening up a club and it not be in my basement so that we've got room for more than about 8 people. And if that ever comes to fruition, which I'm always looking at places and talking to people, if the right thing happens, we'll have a club track, and then it will become a destination. If you make it to Ohio, Kings Island, Cedar Point, and Two Lines Raceway. But, man, that would be so much fun. Try clear floor polish, Marty. Krylon must dry 1 week minimum, and only Krylon clear. Yes, Tamaya, I barely airbrush anymore. Their paint is amazing. Always use the surface primer. Thanks, Alan. Alan, I should just give them to you and let you paint them. You do an amazing job. But what's the fun in that, right? Never been to Ohio. Ohio's not a bad place. Although, Jamal, I have been to Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta a number of times. And downtown near the stadium is a place called Max's Pizza. It's actually Max's coal-fired pizza. And they have a coal-fired pizza oven. And it's some of the best pizza I've ever had in my entire life. So if you ever find yourself downtown, Max's coal-fired pizza. I don't know if you've ever had it. Every time I go to Atlanta, that's the first place I stop. So we got 8 inches of snow and a quarter of ice here in southern Indiana. Good times. Going to be 8 degrees tomorrow. Oh, Tad, that's tough. That ice just ruins it. You can deal with the 8 inches of snow. It's that quarter inch of ice that is just a mess. Yeah, I was looking on Amazon today, John, and it seems like you can pretty much order from lots of places online. I'm pretty close. Southern Illinois got hammered too, and eastern Missouri. Yeah, man, everybody's been dealing with some crazy weather. All right, let's throw up the oval camera as we go to close out the live stream tonight. Marty, if you can't find Tamaya paint, you can get Duplicolor spray paint and clear from your local auto store. Basically the same lacquer-based paint. Oh, Jeff, thanks. That's good to know. I should have tried that. Let's see. What else do we have? Spam. There you go. There's the resin a link to the resin bodies. Lots of great choices. One of them is the Grand National that Dusty is racing right there. So, yes, there is a gremlin body. Mark Thomas, thank you. I knew I had the name wrong. Thanks, Tad, for the correction. isn't there a anyway? Mark as a master builder, yes. Mark Thomas. I apologize. That is I was watching Harry's last night. Good night, Jamal. Stay warm, buddy. Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, man. Let's see, what else do we have? So there's Dusty's NASCAR getting around pretty good. Dusty just had a cheesy grin. He's up to something. Never, Dusty. Just a small bit of advice. If you're going to open a club, have the title to the building in hand. Yeah, John, what I would really like to do is rebuild my garage and build a bigger garage in the backyard. Then it would be off the alley, and it would be just, I would not impose on anyone, and I would own it. But I got to do some other work to the house first before I can do that. So, the fingers, I probably would be in search of a, like a 6 or 8 lane wood track if I opened up a club. But you're right, I would need much more track. But that's probably what we would end up doing. Spray gunner is a great place for all paints and airbrush tools. Cool. Hey, Pat, God bless, man. Be safe. Continued prayers for you, buddy. I like to see you and Dusty build and paint what it's all about, right? Yeah, thanks, Alan. I appreciate that, man. Alan, you need to come try the oval. I'm trying to look at a date in February to maybe host a short endurance, maybe a 3-hour endurance, so we can test the software and get the Michigan guys some trigger time. So we'll put that on the calendar. Jeff G. Marty Max's Pizza in Atlanta is a cousin of mine. The water is shipped in from New York to make the pizza. That is the secret. Jeff G., are you serious that is a cousin? Jeff, it is seriously some of the best. Hang on, I gotta go back to the default. It is seriously some of the best pizza I've ever had. It is such good pizza. It really is. All right, guys, it's 9:27. I'm going to wrap it up. We're going to continue to test and tune. But, guys, this has been great. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I feel like I did a lot of rambling, but, yeah, we had a good time. Dusty got some laps in. It's good that he got some laps in on his car so we can take a look and see if there's anything else we can do to it. But I think our cars are probably what they're going to be.
Mine's not changing.
So, guys, thanks for tuning in. All the best, and thanks for all you do. This has been fun, and I'm excited about the home racing world, getting to watch the live stream in a couple weeks. So we got to get these cars done first. Guys, good night, and go have some fun racing.